Are you tired of your Python apps looking like this? If so, then keep on watching, because today I'm going to show you how you can give your Python apps a quick makeover using a library called Streamlit, but more on that later. Now, let's dive straight in. For demonstration purposes, I have already prepared the simple chatbot application using LangChain and Ollama. When we run the application, we are greeted by the AI, and we can interact with it. Let's ask a question. As you can see, the chatbot processes the message and answers with its own. Now we'll go through a process of converting this console application into a beautiful web app. First things first, we will need to install the library. So for that, let me first activate my virtual environment. If you want to learn more about virtual environments, check out my other video. Okay, now we will install the Streamlit library. For that, use pip install command and specify Streamlit. Once that's done, we can import it into our project. And that's that. Now that we have installed the library and imported it into our project, we could run the application. But before that, let's remove this block of code. Also, we use a command st.write to output some text to the screen. Now we can run the app. For that, we will use the command streamlit run. Also, we will need to specify the entry file. In our case, it's demo.py. And now we are thrown into the web application and greeted by the text that we entered. Now we are finally ready to start transferring our functionality to this new web app. So, first things first, what we are going to do is try and render our history messages in a more beautiful way. For that, we have a Streamlit component called chatMessage. We will update this printHistory function to use that component. So instead of printing to the console, what we could do is use that. We need to specify the type of the message, which in our case is either system message, a human message, or AI message. We will take it from the message.type. Now for the content of the message, we will use st.write again. Also, we can delete this hello world. Now save our file and see how it looks. Once we reload the app, we can see that the only message in our history, except the system message, is outputted to the screen. Also, we have this nice avatar in front of our message. Now that we have the messages displaying on screen, we need a way to pass user input to our chatbot. For that, we are going to use another Streamlit component called chatInput. So let's see. We will use chatInput to read the user message, and we will assign it to a variable named prompt. Let's save and see how that looks. Okay, you can see chatInput component is displayed at the bottom of the screen. Now let's say we type something in there. You can see that after submitting the message nothing happens except that the input is cleared. And that's because we haven't used our message anywhere yet. So let's go and fix that. First, we will check if user prompt is not empty. If it isn't, we will need to add it to the history. For the type, we will use human message. And pass the prompt. We will also need to render it to the screen. For the type, we will specify human and for the content we will pass the prompt variable. Next, we want our message to be processed by the chatbot. For this, we will need to pass it to our LLM. Actually, we will have to pass not only the last message, but the whole history. We will also want to add the result to the history and render it to the screen. We will use AI message for that. And render it as well. Now let's save the file and check what happens. Let's ask something. And we get the result. However, as you can probably tell, we have something wrong with our chat history. Let's check what's wrong with that. And I see the mistake already, what we've done wrong. This print history statement should be above our prompt input. Also, we can remove this print. Let's save and check if it works now. Great. However, we still have one problem. After asking another question, our previous history is overwritten. So let's go and check what's wrong with it. And the issue arises because of the way how Streamlit works. It monitors its component states, and when they change, it reruns the app and part of the history is lost. To avoid that from happening, we have something called session state. It will allow us to persist our history between app reruns. So first, we will check if history is already in session state. If not, we will then proceed to initialize the history. But this time we will add it to session state. Now we'll update all other occurrences to take history from this session state. Now let's save our app and see if it fixed the issue. Restart. Now let's ask the second question. As you can see, the issue is solved and the history is being persisted when asking multiple questions. Now let's talk about the library itself. Streamlit provides a quick and easy way to build web apps. It's a perfect tool to give your Python scripts a quick facelift. It features tons of components provided by the community and also has a comprehensive and easy to follow documentation, so you can start developing in no time. That's it for today's video. Hope you learned something new today and see you in the next one.